Hello, this is Angie Monco with Harmony Harbor. You know, I'm a certified hypnotist, and I also work with Emotional Freedom Technique, also known as meridian tapping. And both of these are just tools or techniques that engage our subconscious mind. Our conscious mind is often the analyzer, the judger. It'll judge our experiences as good or bad. The subconscious mind just accepts things, okay? And I just want to talk to you a little bit today about the subconscious mind, because I think it's very important to align what you want consciously with what's going on subconsciously so that life flows easier, okay? And I have a little list I'll be referring to here. But have you ever heard of this? It's called the iceberg analogy. You know, you have this big iceberg and in the ocean, and the tip that sticks out of the water is actually analogous to our conscious mind. And then the huge mass, the majority of it, this 90% or more probably underneath the surface, is analogous to our subconscious mind. And the reason I like that analogy so well is because it's the subconscious mind that drives so much of our daily activity. It controls so much of how we respond to life. You know, our emotions are housed there, our experiences are housed there, all the little details that were important to us as we went along in life, they're all housed in the subconscious mind. Okay, so knowing that such a vast majority of our mind is the subconscious and it controls so much, it makes sense, doesn't it, to gain cooperation. So that comes to my next point. Whenever I work with clients, what we talk about is how do we gain cooperation from the subconscious mind, okay? And I'm not going to go into all the little details of that, but just the fact that it's very important to gain cooperation. I mean, think of it like this. I mean, there's parts of you that's called parts therapy. They're within your subconscious mind based on your experiences throughout your life. If you wanted to make a change in the subconscious mind, if you make a demand, do you think that the subconscious is just like a person? Do you think they're going to respond? No, they want to be asked permission. Now, another thing to note is when we're working with people, often they have a problem, okay? They have an issue that they want to resolve. And they'll often say things like, oh my God, you know, I've had this weight on for so long, I can't stand it, I just want to get rid of it, okay? And, or they'll say something like, I have this horrible habit of smoking, I just want to stop, I just want to get rid of it. You know, they really want to get rid of whatever it is, and understandably it's causing them pain, right? But what they don't understand is that when they really want to get rid of something and just they don't want it in their life anymore, that often that problem digs its heels deeper into the sand or into the mud or the the quicksand. And so it's kind of ironic. So what we do when working with the subconscious mind is we ask permission from that part of us that appears to be driving our behavior. We ask permission to cooperate and to heal and integrate that part of us. Does that make sense? Let's see. That was the main point I wanted to make there. So we ask permission to cooperate. And then, through either hypnosis or tapping, we will engage a dialogue with that part of us. Okay? I mean, I'll actually, you know, talk to this part that's driving our behavior, and I'll say, hey, I'll have the person explain, or me, or whatever it is, whatever the tool I'm using, and just explain that this behavior is now hurting us. It's not helping us anymore. Maybe it served us at one point in our past, but now it's actually more of a detriment. It's really hurting us. So we ask permission from that part. We say, would you be willing to take on a new role? You know, would you be willing to take on a new role other than compulsive overeating or other than smoking or whatever? We ask permission, like I just talked about, to do something different. And almost always, after sometimes a little coaxing, that part of us will choose to cooperate. It's almost always the case, so that's good news. Now, something else you should know about the subconscious mind and why it's so important to replace a habit that you're wanting to replace with something else, okay? You can't just stop smoking and then have everything be perfect. The subconscious mind will not tolerate a vacuum, so it's very important that you replace that habit with something productive, something healthy, okay? All right. There's another thing. just a few notes when you're working with the subconscious mind that I want you to be aware of. When you're working with the subconscious mind, it's important to use certain languaging, whether that's doing self-hypnosis or when you're working with the EFT, which I have other videos on that, that everything's in the present tense. You state everything as if it is. It's always using the present tense. The subconscious mind uses symbols and imagery. You know, like I have an eagle over here on the wall that I love doing self-hypnosis to because I can see myself like flying over the mountains and then over the ocean, and it's very freeing, and the subconscious mind loves that kind of symbolism, okay? I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, present tense, use the present tense. It doesn't understand contractions, so you don't want to use can't or don't or something like that. It doesn't have any point of reference, so don't use contractions when you're speaking and engage in dialogue with the subconscious mind. And use positive language. An example, you wouldn't want to say, don't say I want. Remember, present language. If you say I want, that implies it's out in the future, which will never occur. So you always, I am. You know, present language, present tense. And when I say positive language, you don't want to use, I'm trying to think of an example. You don't want to say, I am not overweight, okay, because that is a negative, right? I'm not overweight. You're using not. I am not overweight. You don't want to do that. You want to say, I am thin and sexy and beautiful and, you know, light as a feather. Use positive language, okay? Don't use not, whatever, okay? And lastly, for this little video, I just want to say appreciate the now. This is very important. Just when you're working on visualizing goals and working with the subconscious mind, you want to appreciate what's going on now. Appreciate where you're at. Send praise and love to that part of you, okay? And reward yourself for your actions taken, even if your conscious mind doesn't feel that you deserve this. This was a big one with me. You know, I would work with my coach and she'd say, okay, how did you reward yourself this week, Angie? And I'm like, why do we have to work on this? Why can't we just get right to our plan of action, that kind of thing? And, you know, she just explained that maybe consciously you don't feel it's important, but your subconscious wants that kind of reward, that kind of recognition, okay, to feel good about what you're doing, to put forth that effort for you. So to conclude here, I want you to be able to get alignment between what you want consciously, you know, that tip of the iceberg, with what you want subconsciously, what's below the water surface, so that when you have the two in congruence, life is much easier. Life is much easier and you're much happier. If you want to learn more about this and would like to schedule either a hypnosis session with me or a EFT, meridian tapping session with me, or a coaching session, I would love to assist. And you can reach me at 314-422-6520. And my website is Harmony Harbor, www.harmonyharbor, which is right up on the sign, .com. And it's harmonyharbor.com. You can sign up for my newsletters, which are free and they come out every week. I look forward to working with you. Thanks so much.